Sequels are a laugh, aren't they? An absolute financial banker in the eyes of studios, a critical minefield in the eyes of filmmakers, and, well, pretty much the entire spectrum of good and shit in the eyes of fans. The fabled follow-up has given us some great films over the years. The Empire Strikes Back, Judgment Day, The Dark Knight, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey wonders all. But just because something shares the same name doesn't always mean it's as good. I mean, just look at Adam Wilborn. Thus, it's sometimes better to just stop at one, and in the case of these particular franchises, your life will be enriched entirely by avoiding the dross that followed their initial outing. I'm basically here today to save you hours of misguided movie watching. You are welcome. My name is Adam Cleary, and these are 8 film franchises you should really stop watching after the first movie. But before we begin, why not subscribe to stay notified? Ding, ding, done. Number 8, Jaws. Jaws' iconic status cannot be denied, and even Spielberg himself admitted to a 1975 film festival audience that a sequel to a movie like this was akin to a cheap carny trick. And yet, predictably, 1978 brought us Jaws 2, which was directed by however that's said on screen, and featured Roy Schneider reprising his role as Police Chief Martin Brody. In this film, another great white shark terrorized Amity Island's beachgoers, because why wouldn't you? While it was a box office smash, it's today only considered moderately watchable because of how absolutely rank Jaws 3D and Jaws the Revenge were. The former of those movies was marketed entirely on a 3D gimmick, which, only works if you see it in an actual theatre, while the latter is widely considered one of the worst sequels to ever be made. Number 7, National Lampoon's Vacation. The original National Lampoon's Vacation was one of the most quotable films ever written, made Chevy Chase a bona fide movie star, and launched the career of supermodel Christy Brinkley. The sequel, European Vacation, built its comedic foundation exclusively on cheap ethnic stereotype gags, which, watching it back now, appear to have aged even worse than I have. Christmas Vacation decided to ruin its own good work for shock value and pets doing really gross things, while Vegas Vacation was so terrible, its people who like this movie also like section on Rotten Tomatoes just says waterboarding. Then Christmas Vacation 2, which was mercifully only made for TV, was just a movie about people you couldn't possibly believe were still friends having the worst possible time imaginable. Number 6, the Hannibal franchise. Now, if you've not seen Silence of the Lambs, or Silence of the Lamps as I somehow believed it was called in my youth, absolutely reassess your life. It's chilling and gripping and thought-provoking, like some kind of big ice cream hand telling you that Beyoncé is a lizard. Best of luck with that, editing team. The sequel, Hannibal, should have been the same, given that it came from equally strong source material, but it was just a campy bore filled with over-the-top gratuitous violence. Seriously, one character eats his own brain, and it has none of the intellect and cerebral insights of the first movie. Then Red Dragon, which was admittedly an improvement, came across as completely superfluous. Sure, it was fun watching Hopkins play Lecter again, but there was no point retreading the boards of the original when it couldn't possibly live up to it, so why bother? Quid pro quo, I guess. Number 5, The Karate Kid. There are 4 Karate Kid movies. No, I'm not including the 2010 Jackie Chan Jaden Smith thing. There are 4 that were all part of the same narrative. A trilogy about Mr. Miyagi and Daniel, and then a 4th film where he gets a new student in Hilary Swank. That's pretty much all there is to say about them, really, and if you actually want to watch them, they're those VHSs you still find in charity shops for about 20 pence. Number 4, Scream. Let's not about. Scream reinvigorated the entire slasher genre and deservedly spawned a series of sequels and imitators all of its own. Critically praised for its self-aware meta-commentary about horror movies, including all of the genre's tropes and stereotypes, it was a more complete film than it ever should have had any right to be. But in attempting to ride the success of the original, Scream 2 was just a totally mishandled rehash of the original, all the way down to the twist ending involving the identity of the main villain, Ghostface. Scream 3 was inevitably panned by most critics and was the lowest grossing movie of the series right up until Scream 4 came out and was somehow even worse, despite reuniting all the best people both in front of and behind the camera. Number 3. American Pie. Right, so you know that saying about giving something just enough rope to hang itself with? Yeah, well, okay, I've just read what films are actually in the American Pie series, and you can judge for yourself whether or not there's a decline in quality. American Pie, American Pie 2, American Wedding, American Reunion, American Pie Bandcamp, American Pie The Naked Mile, American Pie Beta House, American Pie The Book of Love, American Pie Quantum of Solace, American Pie vs. Sharknado, American Pie Greatest Royal Rumble, American Pie Jules and Cleary Take on Caesar, American Pie Squared, American Pie Sherman's Funeral, and The American Pie Paradox. Number 2. The Hangover. Based loosely on the What Culture 2017 Christmas Night Out, The Hangover was arguably the decade's best R-rated raunch-filled comedy. The movie made Bradley Cooper, Ed Helms, and Zach Galifianakis household names as a group of mismatched friends looking to take their buddy Doug on a Vegas bachelor party he'll never forget. You all know what happens next, and when it became the third highest grossing R-rated movie of all time, a sequel was inevitable. Unfortunately, The Hangover 2 recycles almost every single gag from the first movie with none of the charm, and the third installment beat what was left of the franchise to death with Alan losing his marbles. Number 1. Jurassic Park. Look, right, did I have fun in the cinema for Jurassic World? Yes, I guess I did, but that was mostly just because it didn't feel like the franchise had entirely let me down again. Jurassic Park is, in my obviously correct opinion, one of the greatest pieces of cinema ever created. By contrast, The Lost World and Jurassic Park 3 might as well have been made by the goddamn Sci-Fi Channel. World is thoroughly functional in my opinion, but gets a lot of credit for simply not being as bad as 2 and 3, which of course I am thankful for, but if you never went any further than Jurassic Park, your life would be the richer for it. I am absolutely dreading Jurassic World 2, but at the end of the day, it's a dinosaur movie, so I will happily be proven wrong. So, that's our list. What movie franchises do you wish you'd stopped watching after the first installment? Shout them out in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, my name's been Adam Cleary, and I'll see you soon. Hello there, you've made it all the way to the end of the video, and as part of my designated 18 hours of community service, I'm here to tell you that we have a number of other channels available for you to subscribe to, as well as other slightly, possibly not related videos for you to watch. So please do one of the things to my left or right, otherwise I have to pick up leaves on the roadside.